can't pronounce today.
Jinchuriki.
Basically, the creatures that Naruto and the others have inside.
And his fellow Jinchuriki are a combination of Digimon and Power Ranger heroes.
Or yokai, in a sense.
Tenten's Dream World is a fan-fiction version of Road to Ninja where she is the most useful and the hero. Tsunadi's fantasy world is reading Jiraiya's fan-fiction.
It's all just a dream.
Craziness.
Also, guys, this is a quick aside, and the only reason I see with an anime, if it spams the Japanese term enough, it will burn into my memory. That's why with Rama, for some reason, Hiryu Shoten Ha got stuck in my memory, and I hate to bring out the
or like Street Fighter techniques.
Or I hate to bring out Mr. Controversial with the Kenshin creator, but unfortunately, there was a whole butt filler arc in the Kenshin anime where I learned that his final technique was Ama Kekiro Ryu no Hirameki, because they kept saying it every freaking other episode. And I was like, okay, I know what this is now, because I keep hearing the term over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it's monotonous.
I
like
have
DBZ
just
Kai using the Japanese
There's
names.
just been times where I've
like Makanko Sappo or Kanzon.
There's just been times where I've tuned out Shippuden. There's just been times where I could care less about Shippuden, or in the case of the last few weeks, I could care less and just didn't watch.
But what I'm saying, Digi, is that Naruto's English version has the same issue that Rama's English version had, where for some reason the dub likes to spam the Japanese terms. Well, Bleach does too. Oh, Bleach has it in spades. Those three dubs, they like to spam the Japanese attack terms like there's nobody's business. And so you start learning or Japanese naming terms. So that's why, because I think they were translating Jinchuriki in the manga, and then they just said, no, we're just going to call it Jinchuriki. So it just bled into my memory. Like, okay, it's a Jinchuriki. I don't know what that stands for anymore. Even Naruto Shippuden is Sao.
It's like the tailed beast something.
That's untranslated from, because I think it's supposed to mean Wind Chronicles, but no. Viz was like, no, we're calling it Shippuden. Have fun. Bye.
Yeah, Japanese naming 101 can be monotonous, but after a while it becomes second nature. Like, everyone knows the Kamehameha technique or the Masenko Ha from DBZ.
Oh, yeah, but then it becomes so weird with Japanese shows because, for example, Tenchi in Tokyo, that's not the show's name. It's Shin Tenchi Muyo or New Tenchi Muyo, but Tenchi in Tokyo, the English name just stuck, and it's so weird what dub terms stick and what don't. Because I can tell you right now, if you ask any fan of Pokemon, Digimon, which names they know the characters by, you're gonna most likely get the English versions.
Yeah, unless you didn't watch the Fox Kids dub back in the older days of the 90s. And fun fact, Digimon is now 25 along with Yu-Gi-Oh! And Beyblade this year. Yep, Yu-Gi-Oh! Turned 25 in April, Beyblade back in January, and there was one Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, and the other thing, yeah.
Funny made a mention of the Masenko Ha because I know when the original Saban dub of Dragon Ball Z happened, they assumed that Piccolo's Masenko attack was another version of the Kamehameha attack.
Makanko Sappo, aka Special Beam Cannon. That was in the DBZ Kai Uncut dub.
Oh. No, in the original dub for Dragon Ball Z, there was a scene where Gohan was doing the Masenko Ha, but he didn't call it that, he called it the Kamehameha. And
mistranslation, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, when Funimation started dubbing it, they did a course correction and said the correct name of those attacks as opposed to the incorrect terminology that Saban had used.
Yeah, along with the Ocean Group dub actors.
Also, there's also this weird discrepancy between.
And also, fun fact:
Gundam.
Gundam is now 44 along with.
With Dragon Ball, though, you have a weird discrepancy between the Viz translation, the original Funimation, the Ocean translation, the original Funimation translation. Sometimes you have a difference between the TV translation, the DVD translation, and then the DBZ Kai translation.
So there are multiple translations, basically.
There are multiple translations, and they each stick with. They either some of them try to stick with close to the Japanese names. Some of them kind of mix them up. And if you ever ask me, it feels like they're all over the place across the board as to different attack names. Because sometimes they'll pick the most popular one. And it's the same thing with the character of Mr. Hercule Satan, where his full name in English is Hercule Satan because they keep switching.
Yeah, because of that was due to the FCC regulation back then.
And depending on what?
On the broadcasters in the U.S. and whatnot.
Oh yeah, but even in the uncut DVDs, it never stayed consistent. One episode he'd be called Hercule in Uncut Dragon Ball Z. Next episode he'd be called Mr. Satan. And then they just said, we're just gonna combine the names and we're just not gonna worry about it.
Yeah. Wow. And also back to anniversaries. Digimon anniversary was in February, and Gundam also in April. It's now 44, and Gundam Wing, the one that made it boom, is now 29, I believe.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Along with Gunji Gundam, I think. And yes, I feel ancient.
You're talking to somebody who's 40 years old and has been a fan of Gundam ever since its VHS days with a friend of mine, letting me borrow his copy of multiple Gundam.
Hey, I'm 30, so you're not alone in that, dude. And heck, I even have a lot of the Blu-ray Ultra sets.
And I pretty much collected almost all the Gundam stuff.